It's going to be Alice at the Palace again, Palace in Albany on October 4th. We're excited to have you on the Paranormal Evening with Alice Cooper tour. Always a fun time when you're in town.
Oh, thank you. You know, it's we do that tour. That tour comes after the Hollywood Vampires tour, and so this summer kind of got broken up to. We did the Alice tour, and then took 2 weeks off. Then the Vampires tour, and then back to Alice tour.
You never
Somewhere in there we did Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah, rave reviews for your performance in Jesus Christ Superstar. What was that like for you?
You know, it was really great, only because I think I might have been the most comfortable person there because we do theatrics every night.
Sure.
So my show is sort of like a Broadway play, and I felt pretty natural playing a character, whereas I think, John Legend is a singer and a piano player and a writer and a producer. For him to jump into the role of Jesus is unusual for him, where the part of Herod would not be unusual for me.
Yeah, King Herod, what a performance. Everybody was raving about it. I watched it, loved it. Could you see doing more of that again, maybe in the future?
Well, the weird thing about it is when you're doing a production and you spend days and days rehearsing, with a big troupe of people, there's all those dancers, there's all those singers, there's all that production. And then you're doing it one night live on TV.
Right.
So at the end of the thing, I came back and I went, oh, I got a great idea for tomorrow night. And everybody says, there is no tomorrow night. Because normally you would go on and do the show for every single night.
Exactly.
And with this thing, it was just live one time.
Were you nervous? No, probably not.
No, I wasn't really nervous. I wanted to get everything right, and everybody there. The only thing was that we had to get it right the first time because there was no retakes.
Exactly.
It was like live on TV in front of 15 million people. So, that was the only thing that made you nervous was making sure that you remembered all the lyrics.
Well, you nailed it. King Herod, Jesus Christ Superstar was such a cool performance. Now, you mentioned Hollywood Vampires before. What's it like hanging out with Joe Perry and Johnny Depp? Are those guys like your best buds now?
Yeah, they're really good guys. I mean, Johnny is one of the nicest people you'd ever meet in your life. If he met you on a park bench, he'd sit and talk to you for 3 hours.
Nice.
He just has no airs about him at all, And Joe, I've known forever. Joe Perry and Steven Tyler and I go back forever. So he's like a brother, But it's fun to be in a band that's not like the Alice Cooper Band. The Alice Cooper Band is a very tight, really tight, sort of precision organization. And then when we do the Vampires tour, we're sort of like the world's most expensive bar band.
Right. And you're doing a lot of covers, right? You're doing stuff that you love.
Yeah, we cover everybody who's passed away.
Yeah.
Anybody that's died that we knew that was, we used to drink with, that's who kind of qualifies into whose songs we're going to do. Like on this tour, we added a Thin Lizzy song. We added an AC/DC song. We added a song for Tom Petty. Just because of the guys that recently passed away,
yeah.
That, of course, were guys we drank with.
Right. We're talking with Alice Cooper. He's coming to the Palace, Alice at the Palace on October 4th. Let's talk about your band. You always have a great band. Sometimes you change it up a bit. Ryan Roxy, who I love, is still playing with you after all these years.
Oh, yeah, Ryan is great. Ryan is Ryan and Chuck Garrick are my two sort of stalwarts. They're the ones that have been there the longest. Glenn Sobel, my drummer, just got voted best drummer in rock and roll.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
My girl guitar player, my female guitar player, Hurricane Nita Strauss, just got voted best female guitar player.
Man, you got a great band.
So it's a pretty great band, and Tommy Henriksen is in the Vampires with us. So, I mean, this band, if there's a mistake, trust me, nobody's going to know about it except the band. The audience would never hear it. But there's so few mistakes ever that, it's an anomaly if you ever hear anything wrong on that stage.
Never. It's always an incredible show, Alice. And like I said, you always got great musicians with you. Nita, I talked to last year when she was part of that movie. I think you were part of it too, that Hired Gun film.
Right. And and what I was saying on that was, the guitar players are the gunslingers.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that all of the lead singers, guys like Ozzy and Steven Tyler and myself, we know who all the great guitar players are.
Right.
And we're always on the lookout for who the next one is. So I kind of like scooped them on Nita Strauss. I heard her play, and I went, I want her.
Yeah, she's
great. She's in the band. And I mean, we all do know who all the great guitar players are.
When's the last time you spoke with Kane Roberts, Alice?
Kane and I just sang on his new album.
Oh, did
He has a new album coming out.
Oh, great.
And so Kane and I you couldn't be closer than us two. He is the most fun guy I've ever worked with, only because he's got Stallone's body and Jerry Lewis's brain.
And a machine gun guitar. Does he still have that?
And on top of it, he's, he really never got the credit for being the guitar player he is. I think he was every bit as good as Steve Vai or, Eddie Van Halen.
Wow.
It's just that he looked so imposing up there that people watched him rather than listened to him.
Yeah. The ladies loved him. I mean, you watch the old videos.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the guy, he looked like something out of Conan the Barbarian,
Tell me about it. Last time I spoke with you, we talked about the possibility of you working with your original band, the surviving members of the original Alice Cooper group, and they did appear on some songs on the Paranormal album. How did that work out for you?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, the great thing about the original band was that we went to high school together. We were on the same sports teams. We were, track and cross country together before the Beatles came out, and so when we put the band together, it was through high school. We played little places all over. When we broke up after like 5 platinum albums in a row, we broke up with no bad feelings. We broke up with no hatred. Nobody was suing anybody. It was just we all went our own ways. And so I kept that avenue open with Dennis, Neil, and Mike that, hey, I'm going to be in town. You want to come up and play? Yeah, sure. There was no animosity, I don't think. And so when I put them together for this thing, I said, I'd like you guys to each write a song, and then we'll take it into the studio. And I don't want to layer it. I want you guys to play live in the studio. And everything they played live in the studio came out unbelievable.
Yeah, great album. Paranormal, it's out. Your 27th album, Paranormal. Yeah. And I have to ask you about this. Kiss said the other day, they're going to have a major tour in 2019. Now, the only thing I could think of for a major tour for Kiss would be to have a Kiss Alice Cooper tour. Can you confirm or deny if any of those rumors could indeed be
I haven't heard anything about it, but
okay.
I just played. I just did a golf tournament with Tommy Thayer, and I just saw Paul Stanley at a Desmond Childs kind of thing. And so nobody mentioned anything about it. So I doubt if that's going to happen.
So there's no talk.
I would not have a problem with that. A co-headlining tour.
Yeah,
Kiss and Alice Cooper would be a great tour.
It would be incredible. How about the Motley Crue tour that you opened? That you should have been closing, actually, I must say.
No, it was their final tour.
Yeah,
and it was their tour. And they said, we're going to go out, but we'd like to go out in style. Would you send us off in style? And I went, sure, absolutely. I didn't look at that as being anything but, it was a compliment to me that they wanted me to be on that show. That's cool.
You talked about golf. How's the golf game these days?
Well, I turned 70, and I said the next day, sometime this year, I'm going to shoot my age. The very next day, I shot 69.
Well, there you go. How about that?
So I've already, that bucket list thing's gone.
Well, good for you. How about retirement, Alice? Is it in the future or not? Let's hope not. But
I've always said this: if we do a tour and nobody shows up, then I'm retired.
There you go.
But if that's never happened, in fact, we're doing better business now than we've ever done. More people are coming to the show now, and I've never felt better. So I don't see any reason to retire at all. I know a lot of guys are kind of quitting, but a lot of guys still smoke and still drink, and they're probably tired. I'm not tired.
You're not. You'd be bored out of your mind sitting at home.
Yeah, I would. And people always say, well, you could just play golf every day. And I say, I play golf every day anyway.
Exactly. You got the life. A Paranormal Evening with Alice Cooper. Alice at the Palace, October 4th. We'll see you again. Pleasure to talk to you again. Looking forward to it. As I said, your band just is awesome. Just a great lineup.
And I'll see you backstage.
We will see you there. Thanks for your time, Alice.
Okay, then. Bye-bye.